Tyre Nichols waited 22 minutes for an ambulance as the 5 Memphis police officers who had just brutally beaten him looked on and did nothing to help. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Jesse Pagan. Nichols died from his injuries 3 days later. Those 5 officers are now facing murder charges. Tonight, for the first time, the world saw video of the attack showing the sequence of events from the moment the officers pulled Nichols over on suspicion of reckless driving.
We do want to warn you that some of this video is disturbing.
Video released by the city of Memphis shows the police beating of Tyre Nichols on January 7th.
You might get sprayed again.
Officers stopped the 29-year-old father near his home on suspicion of reckless driving. He died 3 days later. The 5 officers involved were fired and are now facing second-degree murder charges. The city released more than an hour of video showing officers tasing Nichols and him running away. At a second location, you could see officers holding him down and beating him repeatedly while he screams for his mother.
Watch out.
And any of you who have children, please don't let them see it.
Nichols' mother saw the video earlier this week.
And I want to say to the 5 police officers that murdered my son, you also disgraced your own families.
Ahead of the video's release, the family asked the public in Memphis and across the country to stay peaceful as they demonstrate.
We do not want any type of uproar. We do not want any type of disturbance.
Planned protests were held in cities from coast to coast, calling for police accountability and justice for Nichols.
Indict, convict, send these killer cops to jail.
CBS News has learned investigators are searching for more potential video evidence from surveillance cameras in an effort to determine with more certainty what sparked the confrontation.
And within the last few hours, 2 of the Shelby County Sheriff's deputies who arrived at the scene where Tyre Nichols was beaten were relieved of their duties. They have not been identified.
The sheriff's office says there will be an internal investigation into whether they violated any department policies. The sheriff says he saw the video for the first time today as well.
There were demonstrations across the country tonight. A group of protesters in Memphis blocked traffic on a freeway demanding justice for Tyre Nichols. In New York City, people marched on Times Square, also blocking traffic. At least one person jumped on a car. And protesters marched through Boston, some holding signs calling for justice for, quote, all victims of police terror. So far, most protesters are respecting the Nichols family's request to remain peaceful.
Outrage and grief is being felt all across the country over Tyre Nichols' death, as you can imagine, including here in San Diego. Tonight, a group of activists and demonstrators gathered at Waterfront Park for a protest.
That's where we find CBS 8's Rocio de la Fette tonight with more on how San Diegans are reacting.
Protesters came out here tonight to not only demand justice, but an end to police brutality.
They say get back, we say fight back.
People from all over San Diego County made their voices heard.
No one's free in a racist system.
Gathering in Waterfront Park to call for action.
We need to unite. It's the only way we can change that culture within policing.
Their calls come after body cam video was released this afternoon showing the moments that led to Tyre Nichols' beating at the hands of Memphis police officers.
It was painful. It was painful and sad to watch. And my heart goes out to the family, and also it goes out to the families, the children, the wives, and the mothers of those officers. I have no sympathy for the officers, but their families were also destroyed by destroying this man's life.
The San Diego Party for Socialism and Liberation organized a rally that drew people from all over to denounce Nichols' senseless death.
It's disgust, it's outrage, it's frustration, it's hysteria, it's immense sadness and grief, but it's not a surprise. This is the country we live in.
Since the release of the video, many local officials and agencies have publicly rebuked the actions of the officers who are now facing charges. In a statement, San Diego Police Chief David Nichols says, "We, inclusive of our entire San Diego Police Department, condemn this betrayal of the badge and the public trust, and we support the firing and prosecution of the officers involved." Also in a statement, President of the NAACP, Derek Johnson, says, by failing to pass legislation, the members of Congress are passing on their sworn duty to protect the people. Demonstrators and organizers say events like this are a first step in a long path for change, but more action is needed.
keep coming out, to find groups that you can organize with, to find people that you can organize with, to find ways that you can stand up for your community and keep your community safe.
I think everyone needs to be involved in legislation and legislators who protect law enforcement that house rogue officers. These cancers within the organization need to be rooted out.
Urcia de la Fe, CBS 8.